Okay, I'm going to preface this video saying I haven't seen any season past season 40, as I'm not really that big of a Survivor fan anymore. But in terms of like my overall and general fandom, I'm a Survivor super fan. I've seen a lot of the seasons like 2 times, and I've seen multiple of them more than twice. So let's get right into this and let's tier ranks some motherfucking seasons of Survivor. Let's go. Sorry for that, guys. That was really stupid, but let's do it. Okay, starting with Borneo. For me, and I'm going to have to change these rankings around as it goes on. I'm going to be putting Borneo in B tier. And also, let me edit the tier list real quick. Sorry for not doing that. Beforehand, delete row, delete row, delete row. We do this. Boom, we can do that. And then, let's see, 43. Actually, I've seen Survivor 41. I lied. So I have that. I have it like this. Because these are the 3 seasons that I haven't seen. So the actual bottom tier is going to be C tier. And that's about right. I don't think there's really Survivor tiers or Survivor seasons that I'd put in a tier lower than C tier anyways. We're going to be putting Borneo in B tier to start off. I really don't know how these are ranked. Okay, whatever. Lau's next up. And I guess I'll say why B tier. Even though it's so different, it's still good. Like, all the different things just add charm to the first season. I love the way it plays out with, like, the creation of the first alliance. And, you know, a lot of the best characters make it to the end, you know, like Dr. Sean, Rudy, Sue, Kelly, Rich. So, and then Greg. I love Greg. I mean, any season with Greg on it, which is only this season. I mean, how the fuck I'm gonna put this season lower than B tier when Greg's on it, right? Palau? Palau's gotta be another B tier, because I'm not one of those people that super love Palau. There's a lot of people that are, like, huge fans of Palau, love Tom Westman, love Ian. Just love the way it plays out with, you know, Stephanie and Bobby John's tribe going all the way down to just Stephanie. I'm not the hugest fan of this, but obviously I still love this. This has some of my favorite challenges in the season. I love to watch the challenges in this season. I love to watch Tom and Bobby John do the challenges and Stephanie. And yeah, I mean, just seeing someone like Tom Westman, who in my opinion is likable, dominate the game the way he did, warrants a B tier for Survivor Palau. And I am noticing right now my voice is going to get killed from this video. Oh my gosh. Survivor Guatemala. A tier. I think Survivor Guatemala's got to be A tier. And I will rank them in order. So I'll put Palau over Borneo. So that means Palau is better than Borneo. So Survivor Guatemala, probably going to be a bottom tier A tier. But I do think at the end of this list, it'll still be in the A tier. I love Bobby John and Jamie fighting. I just love how crazy Jamie gets. I love Judd. I love the downfall of Stephanie. This season's just, like, weird. Like, this season's just entertainment galore. Danny's birthday party is so fucking random. Like, this season's just entertaining and hilarious. What else can I say? And that's honestly the same way I feel about Panama, except Panama is to a greater extent. Panama is literally the better version of Guatemala, so it's funny that they're put together there. Shane's one of my favorite Survivor characters of all time. Shane makes this season. But, I mean, honestly, I still like seeing Suri, Aris. Courtney and Danielle can be hilarious. I love Terry. Love Terry. I love Terry's run in Panama. It would have been nice if Terry won over Artis. Aris, not Artis. But, you know, it's just how it goes sometimes, right? Cook Islands is overrated season, but I'm still an enjoyer. I'm still a Cook Islands enjoyer. I don't know if I even like Cook Islands more than Borneo, though. I don't think it's as low as a C tier, but do I even like it more than Born? That's something to think about. Yeah, it's just the strategy. Like, Borneo's at a disadvantage because there's not that much strategy. The, you know, higher level of strategy in Cook Islands is definitely a big boon for the season. You know, Yule versus Ozzy is very nice to watch. Pinner's running this season's nice to watch. And this season is, like, still has a lot of laughs in it, like with Cowboy and Nate and things like that, so. Fiji is our first C tier season. Fiji to me is just pretty boring. There's a lot of unlikable characters. It's one of the worst casts. I do like to see Earl, you know, destroy everybody. The Dreams car moment's a big moment. But at the end of the day, Fiji's just very ant to me. This is, I mean, I think a lot of people can agree Fiji's a bottom tier season. I don't really have to talk about it too much. China is probably our first S tier season. For now, I'm going to put it in the S tier. I love Todd. Todd's one of my favorite winners. Courtney's awesome. James and the double idol play is awesome. Amanda's awesome. Even someone like Frosty's enjoyable, Eric, Jamie, PG, like, this is one of the best casts in history, and just the way the season plays out with the twists and stuff is awesome. Love watching Todd and Amanda navigate the game. Micronesia is another S tier season. Do I like it more than China, though? I do not think that I like it more than China. But I have to think. Nah, I think I like China more, because China's aesthetic. You know, that's a big advantage, aesthetic. And, you know, in Micronesia, Johnny Fairplay, who would have been so fun to watch that season, you know, basically quits. But, you know, breakout for Parvati. Parvati's awesome in this season with her Black Widow Brigade. You know, and there's so many dumb, hilarious things, like, it's just a fucking stick. And, you know, getting Jason to drop out of the immunity challenge. This season's just hilarious, and there's just too many big names. And they all make it to the end, or they all do good, or have, like, breakout moments. Like, the downer side of this is just the Medivacs, but besides the Medivacs, you know, great season. Gabon's another A tier season, and as you can see, I like the seasons like Panama, Guatemala, Gabon, where it's just a barrel full of laughs. I mean, Gabon strategically has one of the worst casts. I'm thinking I'm going to put it last out of these three, because other than strategically, it also probably just has the worst cast in general. Let me think. It's close between Gabon and Guatemala, because I think Randy's fucking hilarious. I think Corinne is fucking hilarious. You know, Maddie's likable. I think Kenny's a great character. The downfall of Marcus is awesome. I think I'm going to put Gabon barely behind Guatemala. They're super close, though. Ooh, I love Tocantins. I am a huge fan of Tocantins. I think Tocantins is like top of A tier here. Tocantins, I love JT. I am a JT lover. I know JT does worse every other time, but I actually think JT plays really good in Heroes vs. Villains, unlike most people. I think you're kind of trolling if you actually can't see the reasons why JT does the things he does in Heroes vs. Villains. But besides, I'm biased for JT, but also obviously Steven Fishback, Taj, freaking Coach's best season. I mean, come on. If you're a JT fan and you're also a Coach fan, Tocantins has to be in like your top 15 seasons by default. I am those, therefore Tocantins goes there. However, I am also a Russell Hantz fan, so Samoa might have to go here. I used to be higher on Samoa when I was like, you know, I had the Russell seeds planted in my mind, but it really is only Russell. Like, besides Russell, this season would have actually been pretty bad. Like, I don't even think if you replace Russell with someone else and then all these other people get more screen time, that wouldn't have made the season better. I actually do think Samoa is low-key a pretty trash cast, and Russell just makes the season. So that's why I can't put Samoa too high up, because it's just the Russell show. But I love Russell. I love Russell. Russell versus Russell Feathers. But yeah, it's going to go here. Australian Outback's another C-tier season. Australian Outback is really boring. I like it better than Fiji, though, because it's so old school, and I'm a Colby and Tina fan. And, you know, the Michael Scoopin moment's huge. Beef Jerky Gate. But, like, definitely the Outback has lower lows than Fiji, but it also has higher highs than Fiji, and, you know, I'm going to prioritize the higher highs. So I'm going to put Australian Outback a little bit over Fiji. Heroes vs. Villains. Already have the best season. This is not moving from top of S tier. Heroes vs. Villains is the best season. Russell, Parvati, Boston Rob, JT again. Literally, it is the best cast. Heroes vs. Villains is the best cast, and it plays out wonderfully. I love the way Heroes vs. Villains plays out. It's so good. I don't think Sandra deserved to win, but I'm not like a Sandra hater, so that doesn't like actually like, you know, harp on it really. Like, it's not really a downside. It's just, you know, who I wanted to win or thought should win didn't win. But yeah, I mean, this is as close to a perfect season as it gets. Not much more else to say. Nicaragua. Dude, guys, I can't fucking talk. My throat hurts. I'm talking to... Okay, whatever. Nicaragua. I do like Nicaragua. I don't know if I can say it's A tier, though. Because Nicaragua is like the worst... The way I look at Nicaragua is it is the worst version of the Funny Barrel of Laughs season, which is like the Panama, Samoa... No, not Samoa. The Panama, Guatemala, Gabon tier. It's like the bottom tier of that. Because besides Fabio and sometimes Nyanka, and I think his name's Dan, and then Dirt Squirrel, like, it's, I don't know. I'm gonna put it top of B tier. This season's just funny. And I love Fabio, and I'm glad Fabio wins, so I'm biased for Fabio. So it goes top of B tier for now. Redemption Island. Should I put it top of C tier or bottom of B tier? I'll put it top of C tier to appease people for now, because I know a lot of people hate this season. I don't feel like I hate this season as much as most people do, because I love seeing Boston Rob completely annihilate the game to some extent. Like, I don't think it's completely a bad thing. It's mostly just the cast is dog. Like, besides, like, Philip and Boston Rob and, like, Andrea, the cast is pretty dog. And they're just some of the dumbest people of all time. So, and then Russell goes home early. So, yeah, this season's not very good. But it's definitely, like, got a lot, like, a decent amount of entertaining moments. For sure. South Pacific. I don't really like South Pacific. I think South Pacific's another C tier season for me. But it's probably above Redemption Island. We'll put it bottom of B tier for now. I do love the way Coach and Ozzy play this game. I kind of think Coach should have beat Sophie, to be honest. I think Sophie's kind of a boring player. I think she plays better in Winners at War, honestly. And then the brain and stuff. Like, but this season can be, like, uncomfortable at times. There's a lot of slogs. There's a lot of people that are bad casting, like Rick. So I feel like this season's like one of those seasons where it's like 50% good, 50% bad. So it's landing in the bottom of B tier here. I hate One World. I freaking hate One World. One World, probably my least favorite season. I just hate One World. Like, Kim's likable, but she's boring. She completely dominates the game even harder than Boston Rob did. So it's like, that makes it not very fun. There's a lot of people in this cast I just don't care for. Like Colton and, Alicia or whatever her name is. But even more than that, like, I don't care for most of these people. Like, I actually really like Troyzan and Tarzan are, like, some of my favorite people in here. And you know when Troyzan and Tarzan are some of your favorite people in a cast. Not a very good cast. There's some funny, entertaining moments in this season, but strategically it's pretty dead because it's just Kim annihilating everybody 24/7, and there's a lot of moments that piss me off as well. So that might be my least favorite season, honestly. Philippines is pretty good. Philippines is A tier. I'm not as high on Philippines as a lot of other people are, though, I think. Do I like Philip? Would I rather watch Gabon or Philippines? That's what I need to think of first of all. I'd probably rather rewatch Philippines because the strategy. Because Gabon is just that barren with strategy, or like the people are that dumb with strategy. Philippines, the people aren't as bad. You know, Malcolm and Denise play pretty good. Pinner's not complete and utter trash. And yeah, I just want to see like Pinner and Abby Marie and Scoopin and Malcolm dynamics right now. Like, that sounds funny to me. So I'm gonna put, I think Philippines is a little bit better of a season than Gabon, at the very least. What about Guatemala? Guatemala? We'll put it above Guatemala too. Caramoan's another C tier season. Caramoan sucks. I don't think it sucks that bad though. I think it's just below Redemption Island maybe. Because dude, the early game of Caramoan is so bad. The fans are like the worst tribe of all time. And Cochrane actually annihilates this game pretty hard as well. So that also helps make it boring. And just a lot of like even the freaking favorites weren't as good as they were in their first time. Like Brenda wasn't as cool. Maybe Andrea wasn't as cool. Corinne wasn't as cool. Francesca just got voted out first again. Like, you know. I do really like Blood vs. Water though. Blood vs. Water is a grand season. And I'm noticing now I need to make my camera smaller. Let me do that. Or I can just turn my camera to the bottom. Okay. Alright. That looks better. So, Blood vs. Water is definitely an A tier season. I'm actually going to put it, like, at least between Samoa and Panama. I love Tyson's game in Blood vs. Water. It's so awesome. I'm trying to think of everything to say. Sierra voted out her mom in this season. I don't know. The vibes in this season are great. I don't know why. The vibes in this season are just great. I think Redemption Island works the best in Blood vs. Water. I actually really like Redemption Island in this. Russell versus Russell. Oh yeah, Hayden's awesome in this. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those seasons where it's hard for me to describe just how much I like it, or like why I like it so much. So there's probably a lot of bias there. But yeah, I think it goes here. And I'll put it above Panama too, because Panama just has, the more I think about it, Panama has a lot of boring moments. Like, Like those first couple tribes, and a lot of the people that get voted out early are just trash. So some of the early episodes are second best season of all time. Not moving. Cagayan. Cagayan is such a great season, and it's the Tony show. I love Tony. I think Tony's the best Survivor player of all time. Such an entertaining win. Cagayan's probably the most entertaining win of all time. And it's also like top 3 best cast. This is the second or third best cast. I mean, besides Tony, you have Cass, Wu, Spencer, Tasha, Krish. Pretty much everybody. Like, there's not really duds on this season. Like, even people early on. Like, the Brains tribe is hilarious to watch early on in this season. And this has some of my favorite tribal councils. Some of the tribals in this season are amazing. Like, the double idol tribal council, the tribal where Sarah goes home is awesome. San Juan del Sur is a slept-on season. This season's A tier for showsies. I love Drew Christie. I'm actually a John Mish fan. Natalie does amazing, and then you have like Josh versus Jeremy in the mid game. This season's good. Why am I at B tier? Is it bottom B tier? No, it's definitely better than Gabon. Like, I'd rather watch this than Gabon and Guatemala and Samoa. Put it like right here, I think. Is it better than Panama? I don't know about that one. I love Misham Shane. And I love that tribe. That merged tribe is so awesome. Yeah, no, it's not above that. Africa. I'm an Africa fan. Africa's my favorite season from like super retro Survivor, like first 10 seasons. Well, actually, no, this is like my second favorite season from the first 10 seasons, I think. Because there's another one that y'all probably can tell is better, but this is definitely going to be A tier. I feel bad putting it above anything super modern, though. I do think it's more interesting than Gabon Guade. I'm putting Africa there. I'm nostalgic for Africa. This is nostalgia bias. And also, I love Lex. Lex is one of my favorite things, but dude, it's also the fact that it's in Africa. The fact that it's in Africa, there's literally lions right outside their camp that could kill them at any time while they sleep. That is amazing. Like, I miss when Survivor would go to crazy places like that. Not the biggest Worlds Apart fan. This is a B tier season. Yeah, this is B tier season. Yeah, no. Worlds Apart's like right there. Not the hugest fan of Mike Holloway, although that is who I wanted to win during that season. I just think this cast is overrated. I don't like some of the people in this cast as much as other people do. Like, I hate Shireen. Hate Shireen. Will isn't cool. Don't care for Max. Like, this cast is overrated. This season's overrated. Like, no. This is like the definition of a mid fucking season for me. It's such a mid season. Second chances. I am also nowhere near as high on second chances as a lot of other people are. Oh, showsies. My lighting's gonna look slightly better now. Okay, so Cambodia. This is one of the, I feel like, and I've heard this sentiment before. This season was too game body for me. I kind of want to put it bottom of the A tier because it was too game body for me. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and I'll put it above Guade Gabon. But I'm not going to put it above. Let's see, how do I get it to where I want it? Right there. I'm not going to put it above Philippines, though. It's just too game body. That's literally the problem. It's too game body. And I just think it's overrated. Like, the big moves didn't really speak to me that much. Because I feel like people were just too game body. Like, when big moves happen, I'm just like, okay, you calculated, like, every single scenario in your head 900 million times before you did that. I think this season's actually pretty cringy certain moments. Like this is probably a top 10 cringy season for cringy moments, in my opinion. Stephen Fishback crying made me cringe. Go wrong, another season. This one's probably B tier, honestly. You know, I'd rather watch Nicaragua and Palau and Cook Islands over Ko Rong. I'd probably rather watch Ko Rong over Worlds Apart, so that's how I'm deciding the positioning for that. Not a huge fan of Michelle, not a huge fan of Aubrey either. They're like, none of the people that got to the end I really cared for. I don't like Ty either. Like, I just don't like that, the cast in this season that much. Honestly, my favorite part was just when, like, what were their names? Scott and Jason were being douchebags. Like, I know they're being douchebags, and they made the season entertaining. Like, the season's not very entertaining. But, again, there's just nothing to hate on. So like I can't put it lower or put it in C tier because there's nothing to really hate on either. Millennials versus Gen X. I think I like Millennials versus Gen X more than most people do, probably. Damn, I think it might be like above Philippines, below Africa type of level. I'm thinking so, matey mate. I'm thinking so. I can't get past my Africa bias and nostalgia, but Millennials versus Gen X, I mean, I'm a Adam lover. I'm a Jay lover. I actually kind of liked Ken. I'm a David lover. Like, this is one of the... I think this is a top 10 cast of all time. Millennials vs. Gen X is a top 10 cast of all time. There's also moments... I mean, I actually love the chaos Taylor brings to the season, too, so not much else more needs to be said. That's just such a good, entertaining season. Game Changer sucks. I'm putting the C tier. Fuck Game Changers. Fuck that one moment. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is probably number 1 cringiest season, but it's definitely in the top 5 for cringiest seasons of Survivor. I actually still like it more than One World, though. I like it more than Fiji. Because also, Sarah Lucina was so game body this season. She wasn't actually... Like, this is probably her least entertaining season that she's in. And all the big names go home first. A lot of the people I don't like go far. I actually don't hate on Brad Culpepper, though. I'm sorry. I think I'd... Oof. Oof. Nah, I don't think I'd rather watch it over Australian Outback. I really don't. Yeah, I'll put it there. I think right there is fair. Third worst season so far. Healers versus... Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. The worst name ever. Not a very good season. I hate on this season for show. Don't care for Ben. I don't care for anybody but Devin. Really. I mean, the bald guy that is trying to be a Tony clone, he's alright. I think I'd rather watch Redemption Island deadass. I'd deadass rather watch Redemption Island than that. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Like, in the comments, try to defend Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. You just can't. I mean, I'll buy you putting it over Redemption Island, but I won't buy you putting it over any of these other seasons besides Redemption Island. Again, Ghost Island. This was such a bad time for Survivor. Ghost Island is so boring. But at least the story's better in Ghost Island. I'll put... Is it above Worlds Apart? Because I do really like the Wendell and Dominic Abate. I think Dominic should have won. This season entertained me a decent amount, honestly. I'll put it above Worlds Apart. Okay. That being said, we're at David versus Goliath. S tier season. Boom. I think this is my third favorite season, guys. It's very close between David versus Goliath and China, but David versus Goliath is just like another one of the top 10 best casts. I'm biased for Nick. I do love Nick. I'm glad Nick won. And then just the moves in this game. This has some of the best tribal plays of all time. This season's just one of the best like overall survivor seasons of all time. Like I don't really see how you could disagree. Like I like if you like I could see you putting it below these two, but lower than anything else, I literally can't agree with that opinion whatsoever. David versus Goliath is such a good season, man. I was thoroughly entertained throughout every episode of David versus Goliath. Right, Edge of Extinction. How do I feel about Edge of Extinction? This is probably another mid-season B tier. It's not... it's got the Edge of Extinction, which kept me interested, even though it's not a good twist. I like the endgame where Chris wins. I like Rick Devens. You have like people like David and Kelly going far, and they made it pretty interesting. I think I'll put it here. Again, this is still in the mid tier for me. Like this lower B tier, like Edge of Extinction down to like South Pacific is like just the middiest seasons of all Middington. You know? It has just as much bad as it does good. You're bugging, man. I actually kind of like Island of the Idols. I think Island of the Idols was pretty freaking good. I love Dean, Nora, and Tommy, the final three. I know that shit that happened in this season, but I love... And this is another one of the top 10 cringiest seasons, because we know why, but also Nora's pretty cringy too, but... Oh yeah, and Karishma. I think Karishma's cringy as fuck. Actually, you know what? Half this fucking cast is cringe as shit. So, because of that, I really can't put it too high. I'm gonna put it above South Pacific. I definitely don't think Island of the Isles is bottom tier season. This season's pretty freaking entertaining whenever the cringy things aren't happening, but it has too many things bogging it down to go much higher. Marquesas. I am a Marquesas hater. Not really. I don't hate Marquesas, but I think I dislike it more than most people. It's one of my least favorite seasons from the starting seasons. I'd rather watch it than Australian Outback though, for sure. But I think like it's still C tier season. Like I feel like it's only I feel like I just above Australian Outback. I think I'd rather watch Caramoan than Marquesas maybe, but maybe not. I mean either think that. Let's see. Caramoan or Marquesas. Marquesas is so. Now I'd rather watch Caramoan, man. I think Caramoan might be cringier, might have a worse cast, but in general, I think it's slightly more entertaining than Marquesas. Marquesas is so boring, like half the time. Thailand's obviously a C tier season, but you know Brian's game is interesting to watch. There is some funny moments, so we'll put it, dude. It's between being over Marquesas or being just behind Marquesas. Oh, I actually dislike Marquesas that much. I think Marquesas is almost just as boring as Thailand, but we'll put Marquesas like 1% above Thailand. I really don't like it that much better. Rob Sesternino, boys. This is at least an A tier season. I think it's actually like way up here too. I think it's like close to S tier. I'd rather watch Blood versus Water or the Amazon. I think I'd rather watch the Amazon. Amazon makes me, dude, Rob Sesternino makes me freaking laugh. And it's got such good strategy for being season 6. I'm gonna put it here. I think it's barely above Blood versus Water for me. But Pearl Islands is S tier. This is the best old school season of Survivor. Where did we put it? I think above China. Probably just above China. Below David versus Goliath. Actually, I don't know. Nostalgia above David versus Goliath. Nostalgia above David versus Goliath. Yeah, I have to put it above David versus Goliath by 1% though, just for nostalgia. But in terms of like, in general, I think they're very equal seasons. I enjoy Pearl Islands just as much as I enjoy David versus Goliath. Every single season, or every single episode of Pearl Islands is amazing. I love Rupert in the season. I actually really like Sandra in the season. I really like Johnny Fairplay in the season. A couple other people, you know, Savage is freaking hilarious in this season, so. All Stars is trash. Well, it's not trash. It's just, this is the epitome of a mid-season. It might even be top tier epitome of the mid-season, though, just for cast. Just for cast and Boston Rob gameplay. Big moment between Boston Rob and Lex. Oh, that's pretty cringy. This might be a top 10 cringe season. Let's see. I think I'd rather watch Edge of Extinction Go Wrong. Ghost Island. But what about Worlds Apart? I don't know if I'd rather watch Worlds Apart. Poor Borneo has to be down there just because it's the first season. Poor Borneo. You know what? Borneo goes above Worlds Apart. And then, so will All Stars. We'll put All Stars above Worlds Apart. There. That might be a little high for All Stars, but I'm just an old school type of guy. I have so much bias for old school Survivor. And that being said, I actually think Vanuatu is pretty freaking decent. Like, but it's like, that's the thing, is it has to ramp up. Like, Chris has to start getting screen time. Chris has to start putting in some work. Because I'm not the biggest fan of half this cast, I'd say. I feel like putting it here. I feel like that's a good spot for Vanuatu between Korong and Ghost Island. Winners at War is a very good season. This is a very good season. Here, maybe? Close to the top of A tier? Like, when it first came out, I had it even higher. Like, I had it in the S tier for sure, and probably above at least Micronesia for sure. But I don't know anymore, man. I think that was just recency biased. I'm gonna leave Winners at War there. I mean, obviously, Tony wins again. Tony's, like, probably my favorite Survivor player of all time. He plays an amazing game. It's literally all winners, so the gameplay's sick. You know, the cast is sick. So, you know, there's really no way to even argue that it's much lower than this. So it's kind of at least there by default, right, guys? I don't really have to explain my decision-making for Winners at War, do I? Alright, so this is a little bit into the future chat. I don't know what happened to the recording, but y'all saw where I put Winners at War. Yeah, so I put Survivor 41 between Caramoan and Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers in the C tier. Because it's just not a very good season. It's a pretty cringy season. I don't like most of the cast. It's just trash. Like, all the twists are trash. The twists ruin this. Most unfair, stupid twists of all time. But there is, like, one really good tribal player. I remember where, like, Xander lied about having an idol or something. That was cool. And I was, like, decently, somewhat entertained. Like, it's better than, like, these super bottom tier seasons, like Caramoan and onwards. But, yeah, let me, take off the camera so y'all can see everything perfectly. This is my finalized tier list, boys. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more Survivor content, let me know. I can get super analytical. This was super baseline, but I'm nerdy enough to get super analytical. I could redo this list and make it like a really long video where I talk a lot about each season. Just let me know if there's a bunch of Survivor fans out there looking for some more Survivor content. I can like make this channel like half a Survivor channel, honestly, with the amount of content I can come up with. Thanks for watching, boys.